This is Eric Mwadhi again with the examples for the wave cancellation explanation. Earlier in one of my videos I talked about this index that gave a good move, moving from around 170 to 200 after it had been, pretty much kind of a consolidation for almost 1 year. When you broke out of that, you see that there was a strong move higher. Now you might have noticed that when I drew the line, I went across this right here. In other words, this line you'd think that I would draw the top lines to be touch the top of that, and so the breakout would have been somewhere here. But the reason why I adjusted for that is because of the wave cancellation. So in actuality, what I am saying is that this period right here could have been what the market was trying to do was go flat. The RSI should have been flat like that, but what it chose to do, a number like that. It went down, up, came down, and then continued in it. So this and this cancel out. So that's what I call the wave cancellation, and sometimes I use that to adjust my entry points. And this is a perfect example. You see that and that, they almost seem like the same in terms of the size and all that, and even the definition, the curvature is the same. So and that does help us get a nice entry point. And the way you know that you are right is when you adjust for that, it hits that high there, it makes sense with that high there, this high here, this one here, and this one here. So if you adjust for the wave cancellation, it should be confirmed down the road. And this here does show that we needed to adjust for the wave cancellation in this particular example. It's a very good example, if I might say myself. Okay, let's move on here. So let's look at TAN, the ETF that follows the SOLR, space. Again, you see here is a minor wave cancellation. If I can go ahead and just draw that, you can see it here. But what the market did is it did that, came down, that, and came down. So you see, if you draw a line there, this and this part cancel out, and that's this part and that part. And that did happen to be like a stalling area for the stock. And I remember I saw this real time, and I even pointed it out. This thing is stalling because I could see it was not a breakout based on the size of this move below right here, this move here, and above here they are the same. So I could tell that what the market was doing in actuality was the stock made this tip right here. Let me remove that. This tip right here, if I can draw that, so it did that, and then it came back and tried to break out again. So you might call it might look like a breakout, but because it went down again, this size and this size are the same. So that's a wave cancellation. So in other words, what the market was actually intending to do but was not able to was go up and then go flat before dropping. And this part here is shown by this wave cancellation. So, and sometimes these subtle things help you not be come into a stock with a lot of vigor, knowing that it's probably stalling. Either don't go short, or even, don't go long, but consider going short. And again, we were hitting channel resistance at the same time here. So those two factors confirm that the wave cancellation was showing us as there was stalling action in that particular time. And that was an hourly chart. Now let's go and look at another hourly chart, and we see again right here this and that cancel out. So in other words, this is flat. From here to here is flat. Let me remove that. So in other words, if those two cancel out, this area here is flat right there. So if that area is flat, if this part and this part cancel out, then this happens to be a breakout for a short-term move, because that means it was flat, this and this cancel out, so this is flat. When stock moves, breaks out of that, then we get a price surge. And sure, we got in fact, it was so strong we got a gap up, and the stock moved up I would say 4%, actually in that one day, but it moved from around 39 all the way to 44. Again, just by adjusting, you see that there's strength, because once this was broken out, that was a short-term signal that there was strength in the stock. We're looking at hourly charts right now, so they give you short-term situations. Now again, here's a situation where SPWR, a solar stock, and it too, whatever action it's doing right here with this formation, you can see that this was resistance for a while. It broke out of that and then immediately dropped down. So one would argue, if you're not sure what to do, is that probably this space and this space cancel out. So in actuality that was flat, and if that was flat, then this was never a buy point. This move here was never a buy point, and there was stalling action right there. And this stock, as I see it right now, at this price might be stalling, and it in a way does make sense, because you see this, it's sitting resistance around this area here. So again, the RSI wave cancellation helps you understand what's going on, or gives you some color. Let's look at another one, SOL, again in the solar space. They were all moving at the same time. Again, you see another minor wave cancellation, and it's the red line now. I'm using the red line. This tip and that tip cancel out, so this move here was never a breakout, and more than likely this stock might stall right there. Alright, just by adjusting for the wave cancellation, you see that some stalling action, because really if this tip and this tip cancel out, then the stock has not moved above the red line, so there's no new buy point. I think there is probably let me see, yeah, this is the last on these examples. Here is shipping index. Stocks, the index has been on a downward trending channel, and you see it twice hit this resistance right here on the channel, resistance. So we can see that on the price channel. It's not debatable. That's what it is. And what the RSI also is showing us is that at the same time, if you take the top there, because this line is confirmed by this tip and that tip, so that's a legitimate, but this area here and the area below that seem to cancel out, so one can say that the RSI is actually flat in that time period, so there's no buy point. Alright, it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of like one of those things. It's kind of hard to see initially, but once you start seeing it a lot, it starts making sense. I hope this does help in explaining some of the wave cancellation theory, and that they actually do occur more than one would expect, and markets are always trying to play tricks and to confuse us. This is Eric Muadhi, Muadhi.com. Peace and blessings to you.